right as I take a sip.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Oh, it's fine. My whole face is covered.
It's okay. Not on my screen.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for me.
We're going to talk about balance today.
Balance. And y'all know the drill. All the inner workings of the product and how we would take it and such.
Yep.
Balance. Move this here. Okay. I'll go first because this is like Katie's jam. So let me just talk about my smaller knowledge. Balance is a glucose regulator. I don't know what I was supposed to type here. It keeps your glucose levels balanced, though, hence balance. And it neutralizes the effects of carbs. So basically, that all says the exact same thing. You're welcome.
Right. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of ingredients in balance, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't take a whole lot to do what it needs to do. So white kidney bean extract and common bean, they do about the same thing. They prevent the breakdown of carbs in your body. It can get really complicated with enzymes and proteins and all of that, but that's the short of it. The common bean, it slows down the digestive enzyme responsible for that. It like whenever it prevents like the attachment of the carb and protein, so that it doesn't eat at it and then spike your blood sugar, and all of a sudden you have excess glucose and then you have high blood sugar levels, right? One cool thing we love is cinnamon, and particularly this is cassia, which is quite possibly what you use to cook with. And I feel like it's one that is often presented as something that helps with inflammation and helps with always my kids regulating blood sugar. And so it has it in there because it does just that. It helps regulate your blood sugar. It actually, more specifically, your like hormonal response to your intake of carbs and the blood sugar spikes in that. Like I said, this can get super confusing and deep. So we're trying to make it to where we can understand, because it can get all kinds of crazy. But I hope that makes sense to y'all, that literally you take in carbs and it helps prevent it. It's not in like a way that is going to, because like it helps your body flush out the extra, but not like you taking balance is all of a sudden going to make you go to the bathroom. No, it's beneficial to get balance in your system, so that it can get to work, and then it's going to just naturally move out with your elimination. So the other thing is the mulberry leaf. So it slows down and reduces the ability of our digestive enzymes, again, to make the simple sugar like sucrose. They can't be absorbed by the body if they're not broken down. So it just passes on through. One of the things that we like to use balance for is a lot of people with weight loss have trouble losing weight. Okay, I'm gonna find your passy. Because of all the excess sugars in their system. So specifically, we like to coach taking balance at night before bed for a couple different reasons. One, it helps whenever most people, their largest meal is dinner, right? And then you get like sweet tooths and whatnot. And that's whenever people are snacking and they get a whole lot of excess sugars at the end of their day. And then you go to bed, and what do those sugars do? They sit in your system. And a lot of times that leads to restlessness, early wake times, because naturally our circadian rhythm is we do have a cortisol spike around like 2 to 4, and before like you're starting to wake up naturally, right? So by taking balance at bed, it helps with the breakdown of those carbs and the absorption throughout the night, so that you don't have the spikes that are keeping you awake, that are just sitting there and basically feeding and becoming fat in your system. But that being said, if you are like pre-diabetic or you have a true like insulin resistance, taking it before your largest meal, like the bottle says, is very important, because I mentioned earlier that it takes a little time. I think it was the glycoproteins, that's what they were. It takes a little time for them to get in your system and kind of get primed and ready to go to start working, and attacking those sugars so that they're not broken down. And so that's why it says take it before your largest meal. And that really does help regulate your blood sugars in that way. And we've had people on our team that have actually tested this, eating the same exact portions of the same exact meal, taking balance and then checking blood sugar, and then doing the same thing and not taking balance, and the blood sugar spike without balance was much higher. And so it does prove to serve its purpose in that. Just speaking from experience, I took balance during my pregnancy. Without getting too far into it, my liver has struggled. I probably did some damage to it taking alternative health supplements. And so we've already talked about that. That's why Randy Page is laughing. So my liver needed a little help during pregnancy, and I was having liver dumping, which is basically just like an excess of glucose just going blunk in my system in the middle of the night. And it was causing an increased blood sugar level in the mornings, which is actually supposed to be your lowest. So by taking balance at night, it was helping that and reducing it and not putting so much stress and strain on my liver. So if you are a pregnant woman who is like, I just gain a whole bunch of weight while I'm pregnant, it could be because your blood sugar. And so I do recommend it for pregnancy. And I am continuing to take it throughout breastfeeding. Because if you've ever nursed a baby, you also know that you're typically ravenous and will eat anything and everything in front of you. And so it has just helped maintain my blood sugar levels throughout. So yeah, I think that just about covers it. What do you have to add to it?
Just our recommendations on balance versus block. Because I think a lot of people ask, or a lot of people try and take both, and I don't think it's necessary, personally. They both have the white kidney bean extract. Balance just has some other more beneficial ingredients. Personally, I would recommend balance over block. But that's, I guess, my personal preference. I think it's Katie's too. So
Yeah, I mean, if you have somebody that, I mean, we all have those people that are like, no, I pretty much eat healthy. I like to work out, but I still have like my cheat meals and blah, 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 blah. Then they could be somebody that is going to benefit from block. Block does have some brown seaweed, which is like a prebiotic. So it is going to help keep the balance in your belly whenever you have like an influx of sugars and carbs, right? But balance is more of like a long-term maintenance and a regulation, whereas block is more like, I just ate a pint of ice cream. I probably shouldn't have. Or like you got a pint of ice cream and you're like, maybe I should take some block, or I'm about to go hardcore on brunch on Sunday or whatever. Those kinds of things. That's where it's going to be a little bit more beneficial over balance. But if you're already taking balance, you don't need to take block in our recommendation, because they really they do about the same thing. Just one is more long-term, one is more like short-term benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that about answers it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.